How are we doing, team? Welcome to episode 8 of our discussion series. Today's topic is the benefits of having a trainer coach. So this could be inductions, even a taster session, personal training, or elite athletic coaching, anything like that, sports-specific coach.
Or group training
or small group training. So we are obviously those, but we're going to go through each one and say what kind of the benefits are to having that person to help you, because people really don't utilise people like us as much as they could. And I think the people that end up then doing personal training and things like that are then like you won't regret it because of the knowledge and the help and support and guidance that you get from it.
And different experiences and different ways of training different ways of thinking, stuff like that. So what's gone in? So
I think we should start right at the very basics of, you've just signed up at a gym, whether you're new to training or not. I always highly recommend having an induction of sorts.
Yeah.
Okay, like you might be a personal trainer, but it's always interesting to find out how another personal trainer does an induction, I think. And you actually might learn something. It is a bit like sucking eggs, but they don't know that you're a personal trainer. Make sure they don't know, because that's the worst thing for a personal trainer, to find out they're training another personal trainer. It's just not right. But if you're new to the gym, especially, get an induction, because you will find that they can, although they're giving you usually a basic program, they will tell you things that no other trainer will probably tell you. There'll be something that they say, or they'll find out about you
in a specific way that's never clicked with you before, meaning the same thing as everyone else has said, but you get it because they've said it a specific way.
Yeah. I think the value of knowledge from gym instructors, personal trainers on gym floor is highly underutilised by the majority of member bases in gyms. You know, you're guaranteed to have at least one member of staff in most gyms. If you're in a more 24 hours type gym, probably less likely. But if you're in the leisure centres or a David Lloyd or a Virgin Active or a Nuffield Health, they always have manned hours.
Yeah.
So take advantage of the one or two people that might be on gym floor. Ask them both questions as well, like and multiple instructors, because there's going to be 7 or 8 probably that work within the gym environment that you can get different knowledge from. I think the best teams that work are usually going, okay, I can't really answer that question, but if you see such and such in the gym, they're going to help you out with that, you know, or I can ask them and then feed it back to you, whatever. But I think using those gym instructors as a member, because you create that community, don't you, that rapport with your trainer, and it makes you want to come to the gym.
Yeah,
I think as well. Having your induction, meeting an instructor.
It's almost like if you don't know anyone at the gym,
meet your instructor,
and but there's someone that you have spoken to that's staff. It's like you can then just go over and just have a chat. Hey, how's it going? You know, that could then put you at slight ease if you're feeling a bit awkward, if there's no one there that you know.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And
that'll usually tell you a good gym instructor as well, because they'll note you as well that you're new, and they'll try and make you feel more comfortable and acknowledge the fact that you're there, and how you're getting on even before your next session. Say if there's multiple sessions, it's always good to keep that rapport going with your instructor, because at some point they won't be doing inductions with you, they'll just be on gym floor.
Yeah.
And I think we mentioned in previous episodes, the worst thing for a gym instructor is to be cleaning. Like, utilise their knowledge, utilise their time. They're there for a reason, and it's not to clean equipment. That's just part of the job.
Yeah, really pick their brains at stuff and almost try to ask them things that you think they might not know, and see what limits they might or might not have. You know, like, really try to challenge them.
I think a good personal trainer / gym instructor isn't there trying to sell you their sessions, because I think that a lot of personal trainers, not a lot, like half the personal trainers you'll meet will not tell you information because they want you to personal train with them, and then they'll give you parts of the information. But to me, like, I just think that's unfair. Like
drip feeding stuff. Like
to make you keep coming. Like, whereas I think we both
I give everyone
the same information
as possible. Yeah, you know, if you're of value, people will come to you. You shouldn't have to go to them.
Yeah.
You know, you go to the Shaolin Temple. The Shaolin Temple doesn't go to you.
So yeah, exactly.
So if you want, you go to it and you do what you have to do.
Yeah. I think if you're a trainer especially, don't hide the information away from potential clients. I think that's the problem. You think they're potential clients and then you don't give them information and they're like, well, you weren't much use to me, so why would I come back? You know? So be as open and honest as you can, because they'll see the value of you by you giving information. And, you know, that's, you know, both ways. Like, as a member, get that information. If they're not giving you the information, then they're not valuing you as a member. So find the gym instructors that are going to give you value, because you will find gym instructors that don't give a toss.
And you might find that they're giving you very, very little sort of time a day until you start paying them.
Yeah.
And then if
then
that's
they're
the
your
case,
best friend,
exactly. Then it's just like, well, they clearly aren't bothered in me.
No. They just want the money.
Yeah.
They're not seeing any reward to you, so they're just, apart from your dime, basically. So. Which brings us on to benefits of having a personal trainer. So you've had an induction, you've learnt the basis of kit, you've met someone within the gym. So there's a lot of benefits to having an induction. Obviously, using kit safely, but there's only so much you can do in a gym induction, and it's very frustrating as gym instructors that you only kind of get this. But these days, sometimes it can be 15 minutes to show someone how to do something. You might be lucky and have an hour to show someone something, and then that's it. Whereas personal training wise, you have more time. With that trainer, they can obviously program things towards your goals.
It's a lot more specific, goal specific. It's a lot more individualized rather than, you know, the typical induction. I'm just going to show you around. This is the kit. This is the basics of how you use everything, regardless of what your goals are. You know,
it can be very generic, doing a basic, because it is a basic program to show you the main parts of the gym. If you do come in with a very specific goal, a gym instructor will literally bounce off the walls. They're literally so excited, because they will design that first program around your goals. But unfortunately, that, you know, doing the same program over and over and over again, you're going to get some results at the beginning, but you're not going to continue to get results. So you need another program, and if you're in a good gym, then they'll utilize the gym instructors to give you another program. But that'll be a one program that you'll do for multiple occasions over and over again. Whereas a personal trainer can provide you with a lot more in-depth training, and what areas to work on.
A lot more valuable work.
And the reasons why you're doing things, I think, is the bigger thing.
Yeah, that's something I always try to do. Is everything I get people to do is I'll make sure that they know why they're doing that specifically rather than as something else.
Yeah.
What it's doing relative to something else. You know, its applications. You know, it's a learning thing for everyone. And I always try to get people, I can teach them in a way that they can then not have to rely on me. That they can teach themselves and teach other people. It's almost like, even if I'm still doing sessions with them, it's almost a case of like, it's like I say to them, right, what are we doing today? And they're like, okay, this is what we need. This is what I need to work on. So okay, let's crack on. And I'm there critiquing and teaching the specifics, but because I've worked with them for X amount of months or a year or whatever, they know the basics themselves. So they don't need me to do a session for them. When they have the specifics of the sessions, it's like, right, okay, that's the next step. It's like I said, I'm still going to be here for it, but it's almost like you're doing this. It's like, it's your session. I'm going to coach it. What are you doing? What do you need to do differently? Exactly. What do I think you should focus on? There's teaching people the basics, and there's teaching people slightly more advanced stuff, and then once they've gotten it themselves, and they can then even to such a degree where they're able to teach someone else, it's like, I'm just going to coach you through it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, yeah,
like I don't need to teach you how to do stuff, but you send me videos. I'm like,
work on
try
this,
do this. Have you done
this? Looks a bit weak. Try that.
Yeah, and then you do it, and then you send me something else. It's like, well, that's obviously helped.
That's worked. Yeah.
But I'm not PTing you.
No.
You know how to do stuff.
Well, I think that's like similar with a lot of my clients. I've had a lot of my clients for a long time, so I'm like, they know how to do exercises. They know they all know how to do it. Sometimes they don't know how to program them in the right order, whatever. So that's fine. I do that for them. But they know how to go off to a gym and do that by themselves. Wholly, what I find personal training wise is accountability for you as a person, is that you have someone to be accountable to do that training.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that aren't. And I have a lot of older clients, and it's more that they want to know that they're doing everything correctly.
Or even if your session with people is literally you're there purely to answer their questions, like you're not like doing the sessions are theirs. You're not doing the sessions for them. You're just there to answer questions they have about it or about something else that they thought about trying. But they're still there, paying for you, because they're obviously now what they're doing is they're purely paying for your knowledge rather than your skill.
What you're doing, so.
Which is valuable to have both, and that's why I try to incorporate both of it in the way that I PT people or the way that I coach people. I prefer to say coach rather than PT for me, because it's like I said, I would rather have 10 people that I can do that with on such a much more specified level than 50 people that are just general population.
Stuff all over again,
yeah. And that's why I think it's so much more valuable to have that, because they could then go away and say, they could go away and then say to other people, I've learned all this, and they could start going teaching other people. So where do you know all this? Like from him?
Yeah.
And then they'll come to me, and then it just branches off exponentially. Or you have one person that you just see on a weekly basis, and you don't teach them anything just because they're just doing a session.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's easy, and I'd never turn people away.
No.
You take every client, but if you had the choice, that's the other way I just explained is, for me, much more exciting, much more valuable, much more, enjoyable, when you have to think about it.
Oh yeah, it sounds awful, but much prefer someone coming up with issues that you need to work with than someone who goes, I just want to lose weight.
Yes.
And you're
I'd almost rather someone with considerable experience than someone who's a complete beginner. The beginner training is piss, because you can do anything with them. Yeah. But if you have someone that has the same amount of experience as you do or more coming to you, they obviously see some value
in you,
that they haven't either seen themselves, experienced themselves, or they haven't got themselves, regardless of how long they've been doing it for. And that's what I like, because it's like you can sort of get it, what I'm saying. Like if I was trying to explain certain tricep exercises or certain fairly advanced movements or whatever to someone who doesn't have any idea, so there's no point in me explaining it. Whereas if someone, they get it, it's a massive, it's so much better for both of us, because it's like we can do this together, we can experiment together. And you're not going to think, well, he clearly doesn't know what he's doing if we're having to experiment. It's like, no, it's always an ongoing experiment for everybody.
Everyone, I think, and that brings me on, obviously we're saying benefits of having a trainer coach. It's the benefits of getting the right trainer coach for you.
Yeah.
So Jake has just said what his focus is on, and he'd rather have 10 people that maybe more experienced, more advanced, that he can go really in depth with.
Really invest the time.
Whereas for me, I get the most reward out of making a 65-year-old more functional and happier within their life. Like that, I get a lot of reward out of that.
I'd have reward in that.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm saying, that you're going to get more passion from other stuff. Yeah. It's not to say that he doesn't want to help people like that. No. I'm just saying that that nitty gritty that far in probably wouldn't excite me as much as it does Jake.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm literally so happy to just help someone move better and make their life happier and more achievable, whatever, and that's within my older demographic. But then there's others that, are trying to achieve things because they have food addiction, or they whatever it is, the opposite. They might have food addiction or an eating disorder. Those things excite me because I'm trying to make them feel better about themselves. Generic people are hard to motivate.
Yeah.
A
lot of times because they don't know what
because they don't know what they want. Yeah.
Whereas if someone is intermediate or even advanced coming to you, they know what they know what they want.
Yeah.
They know what they've done. They know what works, what doesn't work. They just need something else. There's obviously some sort of void there.
Yeah.
That needs filling.
Yeah.
And they've obviously seen or heard, or they're just might even just be taking a punt at it, and they think, I'm going to go to that.
Go to that, yeah.
And that might be it,
But I think we said it in prior. I can't remember if it's in Q&As or other. It's that finding the right trainer is because it's not just down to what they know as a trainer. It's down to the rapport that you're going to build with a trainer and things like that. And the benefits you'll get from that is massive. Yeah. Like I'm friends with a lot of my clients. And they feel like a friend.
Yeah, so am I.
So
and that's better, I think.
They have that relationship to be able to go. Like I've gained a friend out of having my personal trainer.
Yeah.
So there isn't just and if you don't want to be friends with your personal trainer, you don't have to be. But a lot of stories I hear from people that have had bad relationships with personal trainers because they treated them like shit. They didn't really go towards what their goals were. So then they get put off by personal training.
Yeah.
And it's like we just didn't have the right trainer. And then they because these are my clients that I've got that from. They then meet me and they go, you're the one that's made me think of training completely differently. You're the one that makes me come to the gym. You're the one that makes me feel good about myself, that I want to do this now. So they had a poor experience because they had a bad trainer or a trainer that didn't work for them. Maybe not a bad trainer, just someone that did things slightly differently. Then they found someone like me that works the way that they want to. So big thing. Find the right trainer for you that's going to achieve the goal that you want to achieve.
And that's a great point. And leading on, I just had to write something quickly so I don't forget. Regardless of, find someone that's ideal for you. But regardless of what other certifications someone might have, you can suss out pretty quickly, like I said, regardless of what they have written on the certificate, if they know their shit or not. You could have 50 different qualifications on paper, but when you actually teach them, it's just like this is this is just BS.
We've met personal trainers that literally bullshit themselves through sessions.
Yeah.
And are very successful doing it.
Yeah.
And that's great for them.
Yeah.
But,
and that's just mugging the client off.
Yeah.
And I hate seeing that.
And they're teaching them the wrong information. But if it works for them and someone's motivated to do some training, then. But are they getting what they really need from that session, or are they just getting a sweaty, hard workout that's done nothing for them?
But they're not learning
anything from it. Yeah.
Because it's just almost like I'm not learning anything, so therefore I need this person all the time. Yeah. They're not teaching me anything. It's like I'm going to teach you. It's like I'd rather teach someone something over the course of a year and then I'm not with that person anymore, but I've given them life-changing, whatever, and then they've gone on and done it with other people. Yeah. And then that all comes back to me anyway. Yeah.
Where did you learn these fundamentals from?
Yeah. That's why I think you have to be careful with certificates and stuff. And people who have certain qualifications, that doesn't mean you actually know your stuff,
Well, I think perspective needs to be with a trainer is the certificate is very easy to pass, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think sports and exercise science as a degree, I think is, and I haven't done one because that's not what I did, but I think you don't learn anything about science, you don't learn anything about sport. It's just I would disagree slightly because I did do a year of it. It's probably changed. To be fair, those things change fairly from what I looked at. But I would say, in the right university, you are learning the right modules and the right things. I think. But then you have to think, who is it that's writing these courses? What do they actually know? Yeah, but I think it's right. It's right in their eyes. I think doesn't make it right. Sports exercise science is, to me, a completely different thing to
being a personal trainer, because it is this biology science side of things. You know, they're doing things like gait testing and how carbohydrates affect your bloodstream and stuff like that. That there is no.
But how relevant to
sports exercise physiology?
How relevant is that in training?
But that's it. So
you know,
so sports exercise science
there's
is
no physics.
How training affects your performance.
Yeah.
Or food affects your performance,
Yeah.
but it doesn't actually determine what the training should be. Like you learn a bit of kinesiology stuff, things like that, but there's no programming or anything like that within a sports exercise science.
Weight training is nothing more ultimately than physics, mathematics, and biomechanics. If you don't learn those things fundamentally to then be applied where appropriate, it's just filler and of no real use. But I'm not saying that there's no use. Like, I don't want to come across like I'm always bashing qualifications. What I'm saying is, just because certain people have certain qualifications does not mean they are an expert.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like my level 3 certificate took me 4 weekends to pass.
Yeah, mine. However long ago it was done. As soon as you don't learn anything of value,
no, not doing it. No, you have to learn a lot of my personal training. I did my personal training course, and then I didn't personal train for another 3 years, to which I built 3 years worth of knowledge up.
Yeah.
To then, I reckon if I'd started personal training when I got my qualification, I would have been awful.
Yeah, and that's why I think people who are fresh in the industry straight out of training, it's just like you can see that they're fucking new.
They're fresh, yeah, because they're usually doing the same. You call it cookie cutter. Cookie cutter workout. So the same thing for every client, no matter what they are, what size they are, what goals they have, or what age they are,
or it's just a case of this is the only one way to do a certain exercise. Or you have to make sure it's perfect. It's like you don't.
They don't. Benefits of having a trainer. Obviously, we've spoken about one-to-one basis. Trainer coach. But we also discussed small group training as a benefit to getting a trainer coach, because
I don't class that as workout classes. To me, that's not small group training. That's like 5 people max.
Yeah.
Just to differentiate people who think, I do classes.
Well, so actually in the handbook of fitness, it actually says anything plus 5 is considered a group workout class. Anything below 5 is a personal training or small group training session. It's actually what's in our insurance. So any personal trainers out there that are teaching over 5 people in a class and don't have a class qualification in a fitness industry, you're breaking your insurance. You're welcome. So less than 5 clients or less is a small group training session. Now, benefits of this is, unlike a group workout class, it's very, like, these can be up to, I've known classes up to 50 people in certain facilities.
That has to, if it's like that, the class has to be generic. It can't be specific to people.
No, and the other issue is, you as an instructor, you're on a mic telling people all these safety points. Safety points such as keep your core tight, put the bar on the meaty part of your back, squat parallel. That is a teaching point in Les Mills grit. And knees over toes, blah, 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 all these things. Now, you can say that as many times as you like in a class, but it doesn't mean anyone's going to do it. And it doesn't mean anyone can translate it. So you could look at those 50 people. You can't look at all 50 people in that class. The benefits of small group training is that you're going to be able to adjust that as a trainer, working within a smaller group class to see the issues. So if in a squat, squat's one of the prime movements that people can get wrong.
Yeah, especially if it's technique work, because it's like you've got one person going at a time. So say there's 5 people plus you. So you've got 6 people. That's 12 eyes.
Yeah.
So take away the 2 eyes that are doing it.
Yeah.
You've got 10 eyes watching one movement to look at different things. That's going to be better, regardless of the skill of the trainer, because
they might see something that the trainer really doesn't. It's like, what about this?
His foot came up. Okay, hang on. Well, you go now. Let me look, because I was looking at something else.
Yeah.
And then you can make different changes like that. It's a lot more specific to, I think, what those people.
For me, it's safer in regard to that. Like, group workout classes are great for people that know what they're doing. Newbies, it's a real. I find it a real danger. I feel they almost need to go to the gym for a few sessions and learn the fundamentals before they go into a class. But that's just my opinion. Small group training wise, obviously you can take a friend. I think that's a massive benefit. Obviously, if it's small group training, Jake's doing in kind of like a workshop way of thinking, like
technique
workshops and stuff.
Things.
Whereas you can do personal training buddy sessions, whatever training that might be, if it's a gym program, if it's a HIIT workout, if it's weight-based, but if you're just on a squat rack doing stuff with two people. But you might want to take a friend, and a trainer can help you both achieve your goals at the same time. And
it makes it a bit funner.
Makes it fun, more accountable to your friend as well as the trainer. There's sometimes a bit more competitivity about it, especially if you've got similar goals or things to work towards. So I think that the benefits of doing that over endless body pump sessions.
Yeah.
I'm not saying doing classes is a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's proven that people go in and do them and consistently do them. My issue is that people do the same class over and over and over and over and over again, which is body pump 3 times a week and then nothing else. And it's like, if you're going to do that, then do a body pump, then do a body balance, then do a spin.
Yeah.
But get some gym work in as well, because it's only going to help your body pump and things like that. So if
it's the class, the general class aspect that you like, do different classes.
Yeah.
If it's the specific class you like, then doing it over and over again is fine. Yeah. So it depends on what you're doing it for. But if you're just doing it for something to do with other people, you can mix it up even more and get small group work in.
We keep saying trainer coach, so obviously coaching can happen within personal training, but can also be sport specific. So if you are looking to progress yourself in a certain sport, we don't just recommend your generic personal trainer down at the gym unless they have experience in working within that area.
Yeah. Do your homework on the person.
Yeah. Don't
just assume they can help you in every aspect.
You want to get into boxing, go to a boxing place and find a boxer.
Yeah.
Find a boxing coach. If you're running, find a running coach. Don't just go to the gym and expect me or Jake to know what the hell we're doing when it comes to running, because we don't. And some personal trainers will just go, I'll wing it.
Yeah.
Whereas,
and it can work if the person's a beginner because they don't know any different.
Yeah.
But if the person does know different, then they're going to smell the bullshit instantly.
Yeah. And I think, I've had people going, like you said earlier, I want to improve my running. And it's like, and I will go straight away, right, well, I'm not a runner, but I can help you
with everything
with the conditioning for your running, but I cannot help you run.
I'm not going to make you run. Yeah. Why would? But even if you could help them run, why would you if they're already doing it themselves?
But if they want to have a person to be coached to run, because they've never run before, find a running coach.
Yeah.
If you're looking to go into more elite work, find a coach that works within that basis. Football coach, rugby coach, whatever. Find a good one, because there are football coaches out there that just got their level 2 and now they can coach.
Yeah. Shop around. Try different people, I think.
Definitely. Find the one that's going to work for you and find the one that's going to give you the most knowledge.
Stick with them for a bit, and then you have to assess if you've made any change. If you've changed. Yeah. And if not, well, why are you wasting time and money still?
Why are you wasting your money? And go find someone else that's going to make you achieve the things that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
The benefits of a trainer, I think, all come down to getting the right trainer. But
you're not going to know who the right one is until you try them, or you've really done some intensive research and background research of the person. If they have social media, or people who have done stuff with them, and you can say, have you had good experiences with them? Tell me about your experience. Have you had bad experiences with them? If not, do you know anyone that has had bad experiences with them? You know, get as much information from people as possible, because the more information you can get about someone, it's just going to.
It's like anything. You wouldn't get wouldn't get a cowboy builder to come and do stuff for you. You know, you go on bloody Trust a Trader or whatever it is. You know, to get the right person, or you go by referral. So did someone do a good job on your kitchen?
Yeah, you've got you've got builder A who's done it for 20 years and has had 1 million 5-star reviews. Or you've got person B who's also done it for 20 years, is still a builder and has had one okay review and the rest of them have been shit. They both do the same thing.
Yeah, and for the same amount of time.
Yeah.
But one's put a lot more effort and is a lot more quality driven than the other.
So that's why you have to be careful, thinking, oh yeah, but you're both PTs. Yeah. Okay. If you want to if you want to base it purely on that, fine.
Take a test drive, guys, just like a car.
Mm.
Even if that does mean doing taster sessions with multiple personal trainers in your gym, because they give things out for free. So be honest with them and tell them what you're doing, because at the end of the day, a personal trainer will be putting that on there, thinking, "Oh, I've got a client." But if you're in there and honest and go, "Look, I just want to see how it is. I want to see if we work well together." Yeah. It's something I say to my guys constantly. I don't sign my clients up until I've done a taster session with them, because they might finish that taster session and go, "I don't think this is going to work," and I don't want them to sign up to a whole block of work that they're not going to give a shit about, or I'm not going to give a shit about. I want to make sure that everyone's aligned with what the process is going to be going ahead. So definitely do taster sessions, and if your personal trainer doesn't offer taster sessions, then they clearly don't care about their business.
That's a bit of an alarm, but it's like, okay.
They're more careful. They're more thinking about money.
Yeah.
So they're not willing to put a little bit of free time in for you, and that says a lot about them as a person. Yeah. So, definitely get your taster session on.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Well then.
Okay. Cool.
So benefits of having a trainer / coach. If you have any questions, what you think that you might want to look out for in a trainer coach, then give us a DM or comment below. I'm more than happy to provide the answers if we know them.
That's right. And obviously, as usual, any other questions or any other topics that you want discussing or answering, either send us a message and we'll answer it then and there, or if it's a bit of a bigger question, then we'll make a specific video on it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. Cheers, guys.
See you later.
Thank you.